We've got some new developments this morning coming out of Maine after a mass shooting there. Police have identified 40-year-old Robert Card as a person of interest in the shooting, which has left at least 20 people dead. Right now, Card is still on the run, triggering a shelter-in-place order. Police say he opened fire at a restaurant and bowling alley in Lewiston. It's about 30 minutes south of the state's capital. Authorities say Card has a history of military service and is a firearms instructor. Card was also treated at a mental health facility over the summer after saying that he was hearing voices. We're going to go ahead and turn things back here locally now as auto workers at the Kentucky truck plant can return to work this morning. UAW President Shawn Fain made the announcement last night saying Ford and the union have reached a tentative deal. WHAS11's Alex Dieterer breaks down this historic contract deal while hearing from the workers themselves at the local union hall.
When Detroit's ready, we're ready.
It seems the UAW and Ford are ready. Hundreds of Ford employees were suddenly called off the picket line in Louisville. They gathered down the road from Kentucky truck plant at the UAW Union Hall on Chamberlain Lane. Strike Captain Jennifer Holt Yates and a group gathered together, watching as UAW President Shawn Fain read aloud the tentative agreement.
Watching that video, hearing that this tentative agreement has been reached, how do you feel?
I really don't know how I feel yet. I want to see all the details because, I mean, I don't know that I'm ready to vote yes on something. I need to see everything.
The proposed new deal would give them a 25% wage increase.
I mean, 25% is less than what you guys came to the table with.
Right. I'm not happy about that. I'll just be honest.
We were at the East End picket line outside KTP, Ford's most profitable plant, just hours before the announcement.
We all need to make a living and they need to make trucks.
Now, with a possible end in sight for the first time since the strike started 6 weeks ago, the tentative 4-year deal still needs to be ratified by Ford's roughly 57,000 UAW members. Louisville UAW President Todd Dunn said this hours before the tentative deal came to light.
Where are we going to plan to vote? How are we going to get it to our membership? When are we going to do our town halls? We've already had that in the playbook, but now we need to start exercising that so we can be sharp and execute when called upon.
Some workers told us they're already planning to vote it down.
I've heard a lot of people saying they're going to vote one way or the other, but you don't know until we actually see it on paper and what comes out, because people can say they're going to vote one way and then when they get in there they vote a totally different way. So I don't know, I'm excited to see what happens.
The cards on the table between the UAW and Ford now left in the hands of the union members.
You know, Bill Ford talked about that Ford family. We will get that back. It'll take some time. We will get that back.
In a statement, Ford said the company will focus on restarting the Kentucky truck plant, which has 8,700 workers.
Alex Dieterer, WHAS 11 on your side.
In a statement, Ford CEO and President Jim Farley said they're pleased to have reached a new labor contract with the UAW. He says, quote, "We are focused on restarting Kentucky truck plant, Michigan assembly plant, and Chicago assembly plant, calling 20,000 Ford employees back to work and shipping our full lineup to customers again." GM and Stellantis are still in negotiations. Some more local news to tell you about this morning. A New Albany man convicted of killing his wife and another man at a gas station last year will spend the rest of his life behind bars. In court yesterday, the attorneys for Sherrock Douglas argued for the minimum sentence of 130 years, but the judge handed down instead the maximum, a 240-year sentence. Douglas shot his wife Brandy and a bystander named Lauren Yell back in April of 2022. He then led police on a chase to the Onion Tea House on Charlestown Road, where he took the owner hostage. Police eventually shot and arrested Douglas. Prosecutor Chris Lane called the sentence a victory for justice.
240 years was just, and I'm very proud of that. Very proud that that message, as you said, was sent for justice's sake because of what happened. And I'm honored to be in this place today to be able to provide that for those families and victims in this community.
Sherrock Douglas has another court case coming up for an alleged assault, which happened while he was in the Floyd County Jail waiting for this trial. According to court documents, Douglas and others beat a man in the showers using a sock filled with bars of soap and a razor blade. His new charges include battery. A man is dead after a fall at Brown-Forman's distillery headquarters on Dixie Highway. First responders were called to the distillery around noon yesterday. Investigators say the man fell from the scaffolding on the 6th floor of the building, which is under repair. He died at the scene. A Brown-Forman spokesperson says the man was a contractor working at the distillery, adding they extend their deepest sympathy to his family. Today, the suspect accused of shooting 2 people in downtown Shelbyville is expected to make his first court appearance. On Tuesday, police arrested 29-year-old Chavez Johnson. They say around 5:30 that night, Johnson shot a man in the head of an alley off of Union Street, then drove off. The victim was taken to University Hospital in critical condition. During their investigation, police say they found Johnson's vehicle and arrested him. Johnson told police he was being shot at and returned fire. A little bit later on, a second shooting victim walked into U of L Hospital in Shelbyville. Their condition is unknown at this time. Johnson is facing charges of assault and tampering with evidence. He's expected in court today at 1. And in just a few hours, Metro Councilwoman Tammy Hawkins is holding a news conference addressing the need for grocery stores in the West End. Right now, there are about 60,000 people living in West Louisville, but just 2 full-service grocery stores. The area is widely known as a food desert. Hawkins will join other local leaders at the Louisville Community Grocery on Wilson Avenue to talk about ways to bring in more businesses. That's today at 10.